We'll start this off now. Okay, well, I am Gordon and this is Cheryl. As you probably know, we're the admins at Retiring on Purpose, and we are here tonight to introduce you to Belinda from Elite Cruising and Tours. Most people think travel is just another holiday, uh, a flight, a hotel, a few photos. Belinda Van Tholen is here to challenge that approach. A nationally award-winning and internationally recognised leader in the Australian travel industry with nearly 20 years of experience, Belinda has helped thousands of Australians design journeys with strategy, intention, and meaning. She specialises in purposeful, experience-driven travel that aligns with lifestyle and values, not just a calendar break. Today, she'll reveal the trends shaping in 2026 and beyond, the hidden gems retirees will love, the truth about travel insurance, and how to stretch your adventures further. Her mission is simple but radical to prove your travel years aren't winding down, they're just beginning. She is warm and passionate about all things travel, so let's give a huge big welcome to Belinda.
Oh, thank you so much, Gordon. That's lovely.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. It's lovely to see some happy, friendly faces. Welcome on in from wherever you're coming in from. Can everyone hear me okay? Can you give me a thumbs up? Yep. Volume okay?
Yep.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So it's my pleasure to speak with you this evening. That's quite an intro. And I guess tonight, like Gordon said, I'm going to cover off on a few topics. Certainly around what's trending and some little hidden gems and hotspots. I know people want to know where can I go that's not as touristy or has less crowds, or what are some gems. So I've got a few of those in there. We'll touch on a little bit of solo travel, touch on a little bit of travel insurance, some important things to think about there, some upcoming group opportunities. I know Angie mentioned there before with a question about groups. There's certainly going to be something in there for you. And there's also been a couple of questions on the group regarding some domestic spots. I've got one or two in there as well for you. So if everyone's happy, we'll get started. I won't talk a huge amount about myself in this, but I also think it's important for you to get to know me just a little bit. So I'll introduce myself to you on the next slide. So let me move some people out of the way. Here we go. So I guess I have a lifelong passion for adventuring in all its forms. Obviously, travel is one great way of doing that, but there's other things in an adventurous mindset, I guess, is how I think of myself a little bit. I'd love to go out on adventures on a weekend when I'm home, and that for me still hits that same brief as for adventuring and exploring. And I have been a travel advisor for nearly 20 years, so started my career 19 and a half years ago, and really found my why. Found the reason I became an advisor is because I had a great experience with a travel agent before my first trip, and I really felt like she opened up the world for me. She connected some dots for me that I didn't know were there, and she really added some value. And I thought, man, I'd love to do that for people. I'd love to help people see the world like that. And it's just become such a passion that I've been able to build everything in my world around. My family travels a lot. I now I'm married to Arv. I have a little boy named Asher who is 3, and he's been all over the world, and it's just such a joy to be able to show him the world. So we've been to 55 countries, still counting, not necessarily ticking off a bucket list as such, but just love to travel, and that's happened, by default. I regularly get asked what are my favorites. It's like picking a favorite child, but I'll put 4 on the table today. So Morocco is my #1 absolute favorite exotic location. Europe in general, and Tahiti I visited this year, which totally opened my mind to a whole nother world of travel, and just thought that Tahiti is such a gem. And Japan as well. It's somewhere I've returned to many times. I like to snorkel. I love cycling, and I'm new back into cycling after some injuries, and really enjoying the local paths here around Adelaide. And yeah, we are going location independent next year. So I guess not retiring, but with a freedom mindset. I'm aligned with those that are seeking that kind of lifestyle as well, because we're taking steps to make that happen for ourselves. So beautiful. Enough about me. Let's jump on in. So what Australians want in 2026 and beyond. And this comes from the conversations that I'm having, what people are asking me for, and it is a bit of a changing trend. People want to slow down. They want to travel a little slower. Gone are the days where we want to go through and tick off the 50 million things. People want to explore regions a little more deeply. They're looking for some less touristy locations, and this really comes in with I guess, the over tourism and sustainability conversation is that there are a lot of places that are really burnt out, and we're seeing around the world, a couple of places that are pushing back on that. And so now it's about going, well, what's in that region that's a smaller town that's, that has just as much to offer, but maybe hasn't been on the public radar. That's what people are seeking. People are looking for smaller ships, and in a cruising avenue, looking for smaller, more intimate experiences. Smaller ships allow you to get in closer to ports. You can step right off and be right in the heart of these little small towns rather than having to use tender boats to come in to locations. So that's very appealing. River cruising, which ties into that slower travel as well. And rather than bucket list, it's about connection and inspiration. So people want to feel connected to local culture, and people. They want to feel inspired. Multi-generational trips, grandparents taking grandchildren, children, but having not just taking a trip or taking a holiday, but making memories that you can look back on for years and years to come. So that's definitely becoming more popular over the last year. People are very open to traveling in off season, loving the lower crowds during off season, and also not afraid to rug up if it's a bit cooler at that time of year, because that's, I think, where the magic happens when you go into some of these places when other people are not. Expedition and adventure, definitely trending. More remote, Northwest Passage, Greenland, not just Antarctica, but South Georgia, and seeing people want to go further afield and feel like they're in an untouched part of the world. And solo travel. Solo travel's changed. Solo travel's been what people have been asking for a lot, but the way that it's changed is that people aren't necessarily solo because they're not married or their partner has passed. They're choosing to travel solo by choice, leaving the hubbies and wives at home. Some people don't want to travel. It's becoming more acceptable to go and do that. And so people are seeking more of those opportunities. So I'll flesh those out a little further during the presentation. I've had to pick 5 little hidden gems, and these are not places that people haven't heard of, but they're places that I think are far enough off the main radar that not they're not over touristed at the moment, and they're the places that if you were interested in these places, like, now is a great time before people catch on. Iceland, people have known about for a long time, but it's definitely not on the mainstream of when people go to Europe. If I sent 50 people to Europe, 2 of them might go to Iceland. And I know that I felt that it was really pristine and remote, and the scenery felt like nowhere else that I had been before. And it's somewhere that I think you can go back to. It's worth a winter trip and a summer trip. But Iceland's definitely, definitely. I've called it a hidden gem for a few years now, and I stand by that. Moorea in French Polynesia. So many people know of Tahiti, yet not many Australians go there at all. I went to Tahiti in May, and 9,000 Australians go to Tahiti every year. Only 9,000. Hardly any at all. And so Tahiti, the island of Tahiti, next to that is the island of Moorea. And for me, that was an absolute gem. It felt like Jurassic Park. It is so green and lush. The snorkeling and the sea life is incredible, which for me is wonderful because I love to do that. But it really does have it all. And I actually preferred Moorea than Tahiti itself. It's a lot more scenic and beautiful. So well worth the venture. And certainly, French Polynesia is hoping that more Australians will head over there and watch this space for a more direct option than through New Zealand. There might be something coming. It's in the works, so I'd put that on your list. Antarctica is not new, but going that further afield to South Georgia and taking those longer Antarctic journeys is becoming more popular as people really understand that perhaps we won't have the ability to see all of this wildlife in its pristine state for as many years and decades as we'd like. So South Georgia would be a hidden gem for next year. I've never put it on more Antarctic itineraries than I am at the moment. So, and locally, look, maybe I'm biased. I lived there for 20 years, but Tassie, I think, is Australia's hidden gem. I think it is absolutely worth heading over the water and getting down there. I know there's at least 2 people on this call tonight from Tassie, and it's just such a magic spot. I I can't recommend it highly enough. And um, out of all of the trips that I'm fortunate enough to plan for people around the world, Tassie still is a favourite place for me to plan. So a lot of people don't realise that I can do local, and it has so much to offer. I could have picked a couple of different towns in the south of France or in Portugal as a little hidden gem for the coming year, but I've gone with Colmar, the fairy tale city, and it's in line with that over tourism conversation, is that people are looking for more and more towns, and this is that French provincial, really quaint and beautiful, and I'm seeing it pop up more and more in itineraries. So I hope that gives you a little bit of inspiration on a few newish places that you might not have gone to before. So what does it mean to travel with purpose? I have always said that retirement isn't the end of the traveling road, it's the start of taking the scenic route. And it really means that you've got a little bit more time potentially to see what you want to see. And it's just about good planning to ensure that you can, flesh that out the way that you want to. Um, Designing a trip around what matters to you is where it starts, and really thinking about that before you think of the destination, thinking about what matters to you. Choosing experiences that reflect your interests and your passions, and making sure that that's woven into the trip, and that it's not just about seeing all the things that the region has to offer, but asking, what do we love? What do I love? What are we interested in? And then building the trip around that accordingly. Traveling with purpose means seeking connection with people, with places, and also with yourself, taking enough space in the trip to connect with yourself. Gone are the days where trips are full for 12 hours from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And most people don't want to travel that way anymore. They want to have some space and some air in the itinerary, and I always encourage having that freedom and space in your itinerary. It also means that you can see what happens, see who you meet, see what you want to explore without having everything over planned. And that focusing on depth and not checklists. So that's the bucket list conversation. Is not going, oh, we've got to tick all of these things. We really want to connect deeper into the trip. So working with us, I thought I'd touch on before we go too much further, about working with a travel advisor. Some people have worked with a travel advisor, some haven't, and I just wanted to share a few things with you. So I am part of Elite Cruising and Tours. We are a very small 3-person team, and we absolutely love what we do. Having worked in the travel industry for for as long as I have, when I wanted to make a change, I wanted to partner with somebody that I knew and trusted. And so I partnered with someone called Martin Cummings from Sydney, who I've known. We're both from Tassie. I knew him and worked with him 15 years ago, and I loved what he was creating. And so we partnered up together. I'm in Adelaide, he's in Sydney, to create something that we think is quite special. We don't advertise, we work 100% on repeat and referral, which is a really beautiful way to plan travel. You're working with somebody that you know somebody that has booked with us, or we know somebody that's connected in your world, and that's a wonderful way to do business. You're very welcome to have a look at our Google reviews. It's something that we take great pride in. You can't erase Google reviews, you can't pay for them. These are genuine reviews written by clients that we've helped along the way. So we're really proud of that one, and we feel that we've worked really hard for it. But working with a travel advisor, I guess we're there to add value to you in many ways. Value in terms of research and input. And I think the best trips I always say to my clients, like, this is a collaboration. This is not me writing out what you need to do and then go and do it. Like, tell me your ideas. Let me add some input. It's a conversation. It's a two-way conversation. And so we have some wonderful extras. You know, our partners really value us. Our supplier partners really value us, and we often get some really wonderful deals as well for our clients and some wonderful extras. It's not necessarily about it's often about sharper pricing, and I'll go through that in wholesale access. But value adding, we're part of Virtuoso, which is a worldwide network that you're not able to pay to be a member of, nor can you pay to be. Basically, they marry up the best hotels with the best travel advisors in the world. It's an invitation only system. And if a client books that hotel with a Virtuoso advisor, you get free breakfast, an upgrade, $100 credit, all of these kind of things for the same price that you would pay direct. And you can't get these benefits direct. So there's definitely some great value that we can add there. All of our travelers get an app. So your flights, your hotels, your tours, your transfers, everything that you're doing is all in one tidy little app that you can follow around the world. And you know, you have a time change, it's going to come up in the app for you. And that's a really nice extra because you don't have to be super organized and have to, you know, have mountains of paper. Gone are the days where you need to have printed things for the 99% majority anyway. So that's a lovely extra. We do get wholesale rates on hotels. Um, it it can be similar, or it can be. I had last week somebody bought me $2,500 hotel booking from Booking.com. We had them wholesale for 1,700. It doesn't always happen, but we do have access to some great wholesale deals. They do certainly value travel advisors and the business that we bring in, and they do reward accordingly. We are an official agent for Luxury Escapes, which a lot of people certainly know of. They have some amazing packages, but what most people don't know is that there are also some agent exclusive deals with Luxury Escapes. So what might be on the main site for a certain price might be a lot sharper through an agent exclusive. They generally pick about 10 a week that we've got, you know, access to. So occasionally I will, you know, on our Facebook page or with clients, we'll let them know of what the deals of the week are, if they're interested in those. But there can be some great deals to pick up. And airfares as well, from a wholesale perspective. There's not a lot of margin and room to move with airfares in this day and age in the travel industry, and a lot of people know that. But we can still build airfares from scratch that, you know, if you put those in your online search, it's going to come back with a no, that's not happening. It doesn't exist, but we can actually build airfares from scratch. And that is something that not a lot of people realize. It's also really handy if you're flying into one continent and out of another continent, because you're going via cruise or something between the two. We can build an airfare from Australia into Europe and from America back home, and they might be able to be on the same airfare, which might save you some money there as well. So we can definitely custom build a lot of airfares, and that's a conversation we have regularly. As far as how we are paid, we're super transparent. So on our website, we have, we're very transparent with our fees. You'll always know what you're paying for up front, and it's secure. So you're paying once, you're not putting credit card details in online. There's no risk to having emails intercepted, and the funds are held in trust. It's very strict for us how client funds are used. We are part of ATAS and IATA for international laws and ruling, and that's a fully audited client trust account, and we take that really seriously. So I hope that that helps you understand just a little bit about the advantages of working with an advisor. So let me give you some, no matter whether you're working with us or you're planning your own travels, I think these tips apply equally. So designing a meaningful itinerary, starting with intention. So what's the intention of the trip? How do you want to feel on that trip? Those are really important questions to ask before you even think about booking the deal, or planning from scratch. I always recommend having one or two anchor experiences in each location, and that's one or two things that are going to match your interests, match match something that you're going to get excited about before you go. It also means that there's less planning that you've got to do while you're actually on your holiday. And a lot of time, if you haven't got one or two anchor experiences, so a guided tour, a half day tour, or somebody to take you privately and see XYZ, if you don't have those things, you spend a lot of the time that you're on your holiday planning your holiday, and that takes away from the overall experience. Whereas if you've got 3 or 4 nights in one location and you've got one or two tours booked already, that's a great start. And then you can see where the afternoon takes you, or see where the next day takes you. But you've got something to get you started, and I think that's really important. I touched on it earlier um, about the importance of space and rest in an itinerary. I I don't know if this resonates with anyone, but I certainly know some retired people in my world that struggle with the space and rest, and knowing that it's actually okay to not have something planned on that day. So if an itinerary is feeling too full, I've regularly said to people, "Hey, I feel like this is a bit busy. Like, what can we remove for you?" It's not about filling all of the space. It's really important that you have that space and rest. And I've always felt that value is so much more important than it being cheap, because cheap can actually cost you a whole lot of money. If you're looking for the cheapest deal, the questions to be asking are, what's included? What's that actually going to cost me? What's the position of that hotel that they've got us in? How much are we going to have to spend on transport to get to where we want to go and do those things? So value, yes, always looking for good value, but really, really not seeking out that cheapest price, because cheapest is really that, in my experience. That reminded me actually, that Northern Lights picture that's there. Maxine, you had a wonderful background before with the Northern Lights swirling around. I saw that and I really liked it, and I forgot to mention it. So cool. Alrighty. So solo travel. The There's quite a few people that have asked me about including some options for solos, and there really is a lot out there, but it is a little bit hard to know where to look. So a few things came to mind that I've popped up here on this slide that will hopefully be helpful. There are companies like Inspiring Vacations that do dedicated solo small group tours. They often max these out at 12 or 16 people, so they're a great choice for solos. They're from a cruising perspective, celebrity cruises have some dedicated solo cabins. What I've found is that you do generally need to get in quite far in advance for these dedicated solo cabins. They're highly in demand, and what's happening now is the cruise ships that they're building now and the new products that they're coming out with, they are being really intentional about adding in space for solos, but that's going to take some years to come, because it's really only been a big trend for the last couple of years that people are doing more and more of this solo travel. So I think as time goes on, we will see more options become available, which is exciting. But there's quite a lot out there if you're able to plan in advance. And the other thing is, if you're happy to go low season, there's often no single supplement with a number of companies. Penont is incredible for it in the expedition and small ship space. They send every quarter, they send me an email, and I would say it has 50 or 60 no solo supplement departures on it. So that's what that means, is that you pay the same whether you're going with two people or with one person for the cabin. I have booked married couples on a solo deal in cabins next to each other because they don't want to stay in the same room as each other because one of them snores. So you actually can do that on a no single supplement departure, which is really cool. The Garn and some rail journeys also have some dedicated solo cabins. And I've booked four or five solo ladies on the Camino de Santiago this year. One just finished nearly 2 weeks ago, and took 37 days. She thought she'd take 45 or something. We had her booked for 45 days, so she ended up having a lovely unexpected week in Portugal. But there are so many options out there that are solo friendly and safe. Wellness retreats is another one that would probably be the most popular sector, but also great if a solo takes a friend and, doing solo rooms. So there's lots of options out there for solos. Travel insurance, not something that everyone wants to think about. It's not the fun one, but it's something that's really important to talk about, and hopefully this can take a little bit of the mystery out of it, I guess. So a lot of people have credit card insurance, which to be clear is really great for simple travel. It's really great if you don't have any pre-existing medical conditions, and if you don't have something super serious happen. If there is something complex that happens when you're traveling, it, you just really want to understand what's sitting behind the policy and exactly where you stand. And I guess that comes from me being on the receiving end of many phone calls. Many. I've been part of logistics for a client that had a brain aneurysm on a mountain in New Zealand. I've received that first call from somebody who has been caught in floods and literally the waters are rising around them. What do we do? I've had some real emergency type calls over the years. They don't happen often, but you really want to know who you're calling if something went totally out of your control, and making sure that you've got that right level of cover that you need. So first and foremost, looking into it before you go, it's a non-negotiable. It used to be a thing, like people used to say, and people probably still do say, if you can't afford your travel insurance, you can't afford to travel. And I probably don't say it in those same words anymore, but it's true. It's just a non-negotiable and something that it's got to be done. We work with 3 insurers, and some of these I've worked for nearly 20 years, so I know them really well. We've got direct lines into these companies, and with pre-existing conditions, for example, looking at these 3, there is not one insurer in this list that is better than the other, because it very much depends on the person's circumstance. If somebody doesn't have any pre-existing conditions, they're going to go with a different insurer than if they have pre-existing conditions. NIB, recently, in the last 4 to 6 months, all of the conditions that I can't get covered with any other insurer, we've been able to get covered through NIB, really complex medical. So if someone's got complex medical or a history, then I'm going to go straight to NIB for that. Go Insurance is the highest rated travel insurance in Australia. And that's based on Trustpilot, based on, client feedback. So they're 4.7 out of 5 on Trustpilot is a really high rating. And that's because their claim success rate is high, their customer service is good. I've been working with them for about 3 years now, and they just it's been really, really easy. The other thing that they've just started to offer is it's unique in that it's a link that clients can quote their own insurance, and if they don't have questions, no problem, they can just take the insurance out, but they still have the backing of a travel advisor. That's new. And what it means is that you can always, with any of these insurers, have those medical conversations, those pre-existing conditions. They don't have to be discussed with me. I will ask you if you're comfortable to have that conversation, or would you rather talk to the insurer? And either way is totally okay. But this is unique that you can quote it yourself, and take that cover out, which is great. So there's no right or wrong as to which is the better. We have trust in all of them. We have direct lines into all of them. And I guess when you're traveling, sometimes there's a pretty significant investment in going into the money that you're putting down. And so it's not just about if something happened while you were traveling, it's also about protecting that investment from the moment you put dollars down to when you actually travel. A lot of people don't realize that your travel insurance, whilst it covers your travel dates, it also gives you coverage from the date you take it out until you depart. So taking it out earlier is advised and recommended, so that you've got that cover in place as early as possible. The amount of conversations I've had over the years with people going, oh, I'm going to such and such next week, that I haven't booked that trip for them, of course, but oh, can you help me with some travel insurance? I'm going away next week. And absolutely can, but what if something happened to you in the lead-in? How many thousands of dollars would you be out of pocket if you fell and broke your ankle the week before, or something happened? So yeah, earlier is better. And I have been able to secure a 10% off with Go Insurance for Retiring on Purpose members. So we'll get that link out to anybody that would like it. And that's the one where you can quote it yourself if you want to, but I'm absolutely available should you want to talk anything through. Something that sits a little bit outside of my wheelhouse as a travel advisor, but right in my wheelhouse as a, stretching your travel and longer stays, and something that I've for 6 months I have done house sitting while we were building our home actually, but it's something for next year with going location independent. I've got a few months, I've got 3.5 months in the UK with house sitting, and it's such a great way to connect in with the local culture, to really live like a local, because you're living in somebody's house. It allows you to stretch your budget. And what I'm found is that the ideal is that you might, if you wanted to do house sitting, you would weave that in to some other travel that you want to do. It's just a way of stretching that budget and staying longer in that location. Perfect for retirees because generally not working and able to be flexible. You do have to be an animal lover though. That's a prerequisite, is you do have to like looking after pets. So and it really is a slower, more meaningful way to travel, I think, than staying in a hotel. I think you're going to get a lot more local knowledge. You're talking to neighbours, and the people that you're house sitting for, leave you the recommendations of the great coffee shop down the road, and the make sure you go and see Mr. Such and Such for the best fruit and veg. And I think I like those things. So I'm looking forward to exploring deeper corners, I guess, of the UK than I have before, and looking forward to educating and sharing with people that there is an extra way to travel for longer. Budget is one thing, it's not always possible to be on the road for months and months, not for everyone, but this is certainly a way that makes that possible. So Trusted House Sitters is the one that I personally recommend. I used them for the 6 months that we did previously, and have used them for the next few months. And I do have a 25% off annual membership for anybody that is interested in doing that as well. Because I know you want to know, and it's hard to only pick four, I have put four of my hottest deals for 2026 of what is coming across my desk in the last couple of weeks. So Vietnam is definitely an up and coming. Vietnam was always hot, and then about 10 years ago, it went really, really quiet, and other destinations in Asia kind of took over. We're seeing Vietnam really bounce back this year, 2025. I haven't booked more trips to Vietnam like this year since probably 10 years ago. So it's definitely made a real resurgence. I love this little 13-day, it's a 5-star Memoirs of Vietnam and Sapa extension. So 10 days I think is a little short. 13 just gives you that little bit of extra time. This is a premium small group tour, and it does include flights ex-Melbourne. You can do Sydney and Brisbane as well, but 4,294 per person for the 13 days 5-star, including your Halong Bay cruise. I thought was a really sharp deal. That was available from January through till April, and then again from July through till November. So lots of availability, at least one departure every month that was available. My little tip and trick for cruising, if you're not super sold on destination, is relocation cruises have super value. So going from one continent to the other as the ships reposition to go to that country for the next season, you can always pick up a really incredible deal. The best one that I found for 2026 is with Celebrity, and that is a Fiji Trans-Pacific. So that's from Sydney through to Honolulu on the 9th of April. Must be just after Easter, I think. This is based on a balcony cabin. I don't quote on an inside cabin. It's there and people can have it, but if I'm going to give you a pricing, it's going to be based on having some fresh air in your stateroom over that amount of nights. So 3,094 per person for 16 nights from Sydney to Honolulu, I think was a really super deal. Um, Bali, Nusa Dua, beachfront, all-inclusive dining, nightly free flow drinks and massages. This was from January to June and September to November of next year. That's for two people, 19.99 for two people. It hasn't got the number of nights, it's 5 nights. That's a 5 night package for Nusa Dua. So really sharp, really sharp deals. And something a little different than sitting in a resort, which has its place, absolutely. But if you want to do a little more exploring, Southern Thailand National Geographic Journeys is on sale at the moment. And I thought I couldn't go past this deal. So 8 days in a small group is 2,500 per person. That's based on a January departure, but there were other departures. This one was also very suitable for solos if you were happy to be paired with another solo of the same sex. Otherwise, you can pay a solo supplement, a smaller solo supplement. It's certainly not double, so very suitable for solos as well. Are we a little bit inspired? Are we getting travel ideas? Awesome. So I thought I'd share with you a few opportunities to travel with myself. I've got a few group departures coming up. So this is what is happening. So Gems of Southeast Europe from Budapest through to Romania is at the end of August next year. I've got 4 cabins remaining on that one. Really looking forward to this is with Armour Waterways and really quality river cruising product. 140 people, quite small and beautiful food and the history of Romania, but also Belgrade and Serbia. Quite a unique region of the Lower Danube. So if there is any interest of anyone joining, please reach out. I'm also in the final stages of signing a contract for Colours of Morocco, which is so exciting because Morocco is just my favourite, and I have waited a long time to take people back there and show them the beautiful country that inspired me. I could never answer what's your favourite country until I landed in Morocco, and I went, wow, I found it. Like, this is it. It's so exotic and different, but the people were warm and friendly, and it's the land of contrast. There's so much from the desert to the mountains to the busy, bustling marketplaces. It's just the place that lights me up the most. So that is May of 2027. I do have a pre-release waitlist at the moment, and I'll be launching that in January, February. That's almost ready to go, which I'm very excited for. And finally, a Christmas markets river cruise for December of 2027. That is well into planning, and it is a mother-daughter trip for the Christmas markets. We figure we'll leave the fellas at home, put them out of their misery on that one. But it can be a best friends trip as well. So we've got quite a list happening for that, and I'm seeing if we can secure kind of extra spaces. We think we're going to need more than what we have, and we'll probably be ready to release that one in March. I won't read through this. You're very welcome to jump on Google and look up Elite Cruising and Tours. We'd love to, as I mentioned earlier, it's something that we really take great pride in. I've always felt that you don't get a chance to have a holiday again, and you can't guarantee that everything goes right because sometimes things happen in travel. And this particular testimonial was a couple that I'd worked with for the first time. They were referred to me from someone that they worked with, but they got to Budapest, they got on board their river cruise, and then the rivers rose too high, and all river cruises were cancelled, and they were sitting on this cruise ship going, we're on the ship, like we can't go anywhere. And they gave them a night. They said you can stay on board tonight, and then tomorrow you need to get off. And that was that was really devastating for them because it was a dream trip for them. But what I managed to do was find them a cruise in 2 days' time that left out of Greece, and we actually rerouted the whole holiday at the last minute. Got them the last flights out of Budapest. There were no flights left because everybody was kind of jumping on them, and was able to reroute and give them still a beautiful 3-week holiday. And they just had a wonderful time. And they've not only become they've not only rebooked with me, but they've become, I would say, friends. Like we talk regularly. I book their daughter. It's been it kind of bonded us. We don't want things to go wrong in travel, but the measure of, I guess, having somebody to call and knowing that I could help them through that and still salvage the holiday when it had all gone to crap essentially, is that we were able to, still get them to Greece. And yeah, that's a lovely friendship that we now have. And the moment I said that I was going back to Europe on a river cruise, they said, "Oh, we're in, like we're on." So they're booked with us next year, and which is really exciting too. And this is shared with their permission, of course. And this review is publicly available on our Google reviews. So you're very welcome to have a look there, should you want to. Beautiful. If you would like to have a conversation with me, if you would like to work together, if you want to talk travel or bounce any ideas, this is how you can connect in with me. I have a calendar that you can book an appointment into, and it would be my pleasure to see if I can add some value to your next trip. I feel like that flew 15 slides and here we are, 45 minutes, but that's what I had for you today, and I really do hope that you found a couple of little gems or nuggets in there. And I'm very, very happy to open the floor and take some questions should anyone have any.
Thanks, Belinda. I think you should be just sending everybody down to Tasmania.
Do you now, Phil? That's I agree.
We were just looking at the colours of Morocco, and I was like, oh, that's on my bucket list, Morocco. And then we were like, oh, no, we're in Bali. And then we're like, oh, no, it's 2027.
Yeah. You're safe. That's the following year.
Yeah, we may well be interested in that one.
I will add you to the pre-list. No
Thank
problem.
you very much.
Me too. Thanks, Belinda. I'm interested in your colours of Morocco tour as well.
Sure, Maxine. I will.
As a solo.
As a solo, beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got a very limited number of solo cabins, and my solos I will be communicating with before I release, because I won't have
Possibly as a solo.
yeah, sure.
Probably
That's
as a solo. I might be able to get someone else interested.
That's cool. That's the other option. If the solo rooms are booked out, that's the other option. So I'll add you both. I'll add you there, Maxine, and I've got you, Phil and Kate, as
Thank you.
potentially interested. So I'll just send you the details once they're ready to
Yeah.
release.
I'm also very interested in Scandinavia and Iceland as well.
I see that with your Northern Lights. Is that something you've seen before?
Yeah, very interested in Iceland particularly, but also Scandinavia.
Hmm.
If you had anything that you could recommend?
So many things, and it's a big region, so it depends. If you're going for Northern Lights, it's a different recommendation than if you're going in the summer.
Yeah, no, definitely go in the summer. I'll give you a call on that one actually, because
Yeah, I'd
it's
love to.
a little bit complicated, whereas part of it would be solo, but part of it would be with a traveling companion.
Yeah, that's okay. That's all good.
I've got your phone number there. I'll give you a call regarding.
Yeah, beautiful. Would love that. Lovely. And we can actually just make a time for a chat. Even if you want to send me a text message to set up a
Or I
time.
could flip you an email actually, just to start the groundwork. We haven't done any groundwork on that, so
Yeah, sounds good.
it's really
Sounds
just a
good, but-
cold call at the moment.
No, that's totally fine. And that initial chit, I'm very, very happy to have that initial chit chat. All good planning starts with that. And so you don't have to be like ready to book with all your ducks in a row. We can have an initial planning chat on my booking site where you can book in an appointment. You can actually choose that to just have a chit chat. So I'm totally fine with that.
Excellent. And thanks for your presentation too, Belinda. It was very good.
You are very welcome. I'm glad you got something
very
out of it. And it sounds like you've got some travel dreams of your own. So I look forward to connecting and seeing how I can help you.
Certainly do.
Another question, Belinda, if that's all right.
Go ahead, Phil.
I tend to think of Iceland or Scandinavia as being expensive destinations, and I suppose they can be depending on what you do, but can they also be reasonably affordable as well?
Yeah, great question. They're definitely, and there's someone in the room that can probably answer this really well, and I don't know whether she's open to speaking on this, but her name is Liz, and And look, you're spot on. There's no getting around it. It is expensive on the food front, and it just means that when you're in those locations, if you're on a budget, you're probably not eating out in restaurants. You're probably being just a little bit more intentional, or you're only eating out once a day, or that kind of thing. So there are ways around it, but I have definitely found myself doing more grab and go type food in those locations because it just was up there to eat out. Liz, do you have some thoughts on that?
You got to unmute yourself first, Liz.
She's figuring it out.
Yeah.
Just hover the mouse over your own little
It's
phone.
okay.
Yeah,
There you
got
go.
Yeah. We've been traveling with Belinda for years now, known her for even more time. And we've just come back from a really long trip overseas that she booked so many components of for us. When we don't have to tell her what we want, she knows us really well. And one of the things that we always like to have is location and kitchenettes. And Belinda's been really good booking us great locations, not necessarily 5-star, but clean and comfortable and great locations. If there's a microwave or a little kitchenette, we go to the supermarket. If we don't have a microwave, we go and buy a cooked chook and a bag of salad. If we've got a microwave, the world's your oyster. There's so many options that you can get from the supermarket now.
Maybe not oysters though, Liz.
Well, we were avoiding mushrooms, given where we live. But no, there's lots and lots of stuff that you can get from the supermarket. The last part of our trip was 4 weeks in the lower states of the US doing the national parks.
Oh,
And I think we ate out about 4 times in those 4 weeks. And it was fabulous. And it enables us to travel for longer. And we also, what Belinda was talking about with the slow travel and I can't think of the word, intentional travel. And you just get to, because you're traveling, not eating out all the time and not living high, you do get to see and experience so much more of the actual place that you're staying at. That's what we think anyway. And we are probably just about recovered from the trip now, but we certainly did a lot and were able to afford to do it because of the not eating out all the time.
We use lots of public transport too, which means it means some research before you go and some investigating, and yeah, we stuff up fairly regularly, but we use public transport for pretty much everything. We also drive ourselves where we can too, where that's reasonable. Some countries it is, some it isn't.
But they do put the gear stick on the wrong side of the car. Belinda said to us, "You don't mind driving manual?" No, we don't, but we kept hitting the window with our left hand because we were reaching for the gear stick when we first got in the car.
It takes a while to get used to it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm
look, it's
taking
all part
auto.
of the fun.
What's that, Maxine?
That's why I choose an auto when I drive in the US.
Yeah.
Oh, the US is an auto, yes, but when you're in Europe, an auto is significantly more expensive. I
Oh,
think.
yeah, actually, I had an auto in
Yes.
Europe as well, so it worked out quite well.
Okay.
Sometimes you can get them for same. We just weren't so lucky, Liz. But Phil, looping back to that's awesome insight. Thank you, Liz. Really, really appreciate that. As far as Scandinavia goes, yes, it's on the pricier side of Europe, but there are things you can do to cut down on those, like Liz and Richard were talking about with your transport and your food. And then it's probably just that if you are at the upper end of your budget, then we're not staying 5-star on the hotel side of things. And there's also cruise suppliers and things that are more clean and comfortable rather than having all the bells and whistles. So it just depends what somebody wants and needs, and just being mindful of that.
I've got another question as well, but maybe let someone else go first.
Does anyone else have any questions? I don't mind having another one from you, Phil, but
I haven't heard of the relocation cruise. I sort of have in the context of smaller vessels that come down through Tasmania and then down to Antarctica and then
Okay,
relocate
yeah.
back again, actually. But
Yep.
is it fair to say that a relocation cruise across the Pacific to Honolulu, for example, is it more a direct cruise or does it still stop at different ports when those sort of cruises happen?
Great question. So repositioning cruises for Australia to the US, they happen in April going from Australia to the US, and they happen in around October coming back the other way. And there are two main routes. So the one that I put up there was a Fiji Trans-Pacific. So that went from Sydney to, it did Bay of Islands in New Zealand, and then 2 or 3 stops in Fiji, and then American Samoa, regular Samoa, then American Samoa, and then 5 days at sea before you got to Hawaii. So they are sea day heavy when you do a repositioning cruise. So they're going to have less stops. That's one route. And then the other route, which is the magic route, is through Tahiti. And you'll pay more for that. It's, what was 3,000 to 3,500 through Fiji at a great deal would be 5.5 per person. But if you think about 16 days, 5.5 grand through Tahiti, and you get 3 stops there, so you usually get Tahiti, Moorea, and Raiatea is another popular one. Sometimes Bora Bora. If you can get those ticked off for a 16-day cruise at 5.5 grand, Tahiti is a notoriously expensive destination. And so you can go, well, hey, that's an amazing deal because we get to go to that place, but we don't have to foot flights. We don't have to foot hotels. We can have one magic day in each place. That would help us feel like we've done it. So I've had quite a few people do that this year. So October is, Honolulu back to Australia via Tahiti. And that's the same for next year as well.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So how do you get back home? Is it just one way?
Correct.
Kayak.
Kayak. I like your thinking, Phil.
So
Keep it cheap.
is the airfare included on that to come back?
It's not, no. And so people will do various things. So I had 2 ladies that did it just in October. They flew over to Hawaii 10 days early. They did 10 days in Hawaii first. So one-way flight to Hawaii, 10 days there, and then cruise back, or vice versa, because everyone's going to want to do something different.
Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, but so that's one repositioning cruise. The other repositioning is Europe through to America. I'm doing one next year from Barcelona through to Fort Lauderdale, which is also 15 days. And that goes via a couple of interesting spots. It does Azores in Portugal, so one of the islands. There's some that go through Madeira, which is another hotspot that is starting to come up on people's radars. You can often get them as a cruise stop, and it does Bermuda as well.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so you could potentially incorporate a trip to Hawaii, for example, and spend a few days there or whatever, and then cruise.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And repositioning cruises are something that not a lot of people think of. Firstly, if they're not keen on having lots of days at sea, but the beautiful thing of lots of days at sea is you get to enjoy all of the ship's facilities, all your meals are included, all your activities, they put things on for you, or you can just read a book and sit back on the balcony. So it is really tools down time. From whatever it is that is keeping your hobby hands and grandparent hands busy, if that's the stage of life you're in, it really is time out of that.
Cool.
Great questions, loving them, guys. Anybody else have any other questions?
Oh, Phil just asked the question I was going to ask. So.
Oh, good.
So I already got my answer.
Might be the Gordon and Phil cruise, that one.
It could be Phil, yeah, you never know. Anyone else got any questions? No?
No, all good.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. It's been really lovely
been fantastic,
to speak to you. I hope that you've all got something out of it. I didn't get to welcome in Tony and Graham, who came towards as we were starting, but great to have you guys on here too. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. I've certainly enjoyed speaking with you.
Can I just ask Gordon, I presume? Gordon, are you able to message me Belinda's contact details email
Yeah.
and phone number, if you wouldn't
We
mind.
can certainly do that, Maxine.
I jotted it down, but I can't read my own handwriting.
I've just popped it back on the screen.
It's just
for
back
you.
up there, Maxine. Do you want to write that down?
If you give me a second, that would be great.
Yeah, I'll leave that
Well,
up there.
actually,
I've got to turn the lights on. It's too dark.
It's those northern lights. You're too dark,
It's
Maxine.
them northern lights. That's it. It's doing it to you.
There we are. That's better.
There she
If you got your phone there, take a photo of the screen.
Oh, that's a good idea. Why didn't I think of that?
That would be a quicker solution. Yeah, gives you everything then.
The
Got
last
it.
thing I'd do is pick up a pen.
Got it.
Oh, you guys can probably
Oh,
see the screen.
hang on.
Did you get it?
Windows Shift S. Hang on. Windows.
No, that's me. Sorry.
Oh, I
I
can't.
forgot I was
can't
sharing a
do it.
screen.
Oh, that's you. No, I can do it too. I've got it. I've got a snip.
Oh, you got
Oh,
a
yeah,
print
that's not what
screen?
I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked for me as
No.
well.
That did not work at all.
You should do that.
It did for me. I've managed to capture it with my snipping tool. Thank you.
Great. Pleasure.
And I'll just add one more thing. I can't agree with you strongly enough about travel insurance. I had a big claim last year where I was medevaced home. So
Wow.
that's
Okay.
$104 I ever spent
Oh,
was my
God,
travel
no
insurance.
notifications.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's not until you really need it that you go, wow, so glad
And
I have
it's,
that.
and it's
And
not
you hope you never need it, but
you do, but it's not until you make a claim you know how good your insurance is as well.
that's right.
Yeah.
I completely-
Fortunately, mine was great.
Excellent. I'm glad that you're okay
Yeah.
and able to travel
That's
for many
good.
more years to come.
There's
I
Andrew.
can now. Recovery took quite a while, but it's all good. I'm
Mm.
raring to go, Belinda.
Live to fight another day.
It's good to
Scandinavia
hear.
is cool.
Yeah, that's good to
100%.
hear.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That's exactly right.
That's a
Amen
good
to that.
philosophy.
Love it.
Okay, well, yeah. Is there any more questions, guys? Anyone else coming back on over there? Graham, Tony,
Right,
Nadia?
I'll have a quick one. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, we
Graham.
got you there,
Go
Graham.
Okay, I'm trying to get rid of my wife and daughter. Just want to know where that Christmas one is at.
Well, you get rid of your savings as well.
That's it. Yep.
What was it you wanted to know about the Christmas one, Graham? I love it.
The destination.
Oh, is European Christmas markets, so Germany.
Thank you.
And that is for 2027.
That would
Got
be fantastic too.
Yeah, they definitely put their markets on.
Okay.
What was that about local tips?
My shy wife is asking about local tips. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yep.
Happy to
Yeah.
answer, but I'm not sure I understand the question.
Where, like you said, Tasmania. Anything else?
Oh,
So
sorry,
to
like
local?
locally to Australia.
Yep.
Well, where are you located, guys?
We're in Sydney.
You're in Sydney. Have you been over to South Australia, come to the Barossa and that kind of thing before?
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very happy to talk with you. Again, it depends where you've been and what kind of things you're interested in. So it's
Yeah,
a
no
tricky
worries.
thing to answer, but there's some great gems and look, the Australian hot list came out today in the travel industry of where people are voting as the best places to travel. Tassie was definitely in the top 10. Number one was Gold Coast.
Yeah.
Number 3 was Sunshine Coast. Better.
Western Australia, got wrecked.
Western Australia, you reckon, Richard?
Oh, yeah, the Kimberley and the Pilbara.
There's
Yeah,
a lot to
beautiful.
see over there.
Yeah, and it really just depends what you're after. But yeah, Kimberley for
does.
sure.
From our
maybe
experience,
not at the moment.
we went to Kangaroo Island last year. That was great.
That was a good destination.
Yeah,
Like claim.
a little bit pricey for a local, Australian destination, but it was a beautiful spot.
Agreed. I've only been once. I've lived in Adelaide for 8 years. We've only gone once because it is a bit on the pricier side, and there's more of the world to see. But beautiful place to go once. So definitely lots of options. Happy to talk more with you guys and understand a bit more about what you're seeking, Graham. And yeah, look forward to it.
Thanks for that, and thank you for the presentation.
Pleasure.
All right.
Thank you.
We're all done then, are we, guys?
I think so.
We're all finished with any questions?
Thanks for organising it. It was most informative.
No worries.
Yes, agreed.
Right.
I'll just close it off anyway. Just a little bit of information for you guys as well. Thanks very much, Belinda. It's for sharing your time, wisdom, and passion with us today. What a powerful session too we had. That was fantastic today. For those who'd like to revisit the insights, a replay will be made available and sent out to anyone who requests it. Our next official speaker won't be until February. But we're not going to go quiet until then. In the meantime, we'll be hosting Zoom catch-ups and online meet and greets to keep connections flowing and conversations alive. So stay tuned, stay engaged, and let's keep building the community together. And that's and thank you everyone for turning up today, and thank you for all the questions too. Like it's always good to have the interaction in the Retiring on Purpose community. It's great. So so thank you again, guys, and any questions, feel free to reach out. If you didn't get Belinda's contact details there, then we're always available to help you out there. So no worries, and and good travels to everyone.
Thanks, Gordon.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
Thank
Great to
you.
see you. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.